Hi, my name's Simone Duncan. I'm one of the teaching academics at Curtin College. This is just a very short video to give you an idea of what learning at Curtin College might look like. So the example that I'm going to work through is my unit that I teach at the college. I teach into health sciences. My unit is called Human Structure and Function. So I'm just going to walk you through what my students, I guess from orientation day, the information that they would have, and then weekly as we go through semester, what would that look like for them each week. So to start with, they come into my unit. There is a class announcement here. So this is information or a point where unit coordinators would put information that students would need to know that is critical for that week. So it might be you have a test later this week. So just a reminder to students to make sure they get prepared for that. I then have a class connection. So for my students, I had a number of students who are studying on campus. I had also students who were offshore with current restrictions. Those students were not able to get to Perth. So this was a really nice way for my students to become familiar with each other. So there was, obviously me at the start there, but many of my students put images of themselves up, a bit of information about themselves, what the activities they like to do, topics, just, personal things just to get people connected with each other. We also put some images up as we came into the classroom. So class 1, so these guys were on campus with me in the classroom. This group, class 2, they were an online group. So it was a really nice way of bringing all my students together to make them all feel connected to the unit and to each other. The Welcome Information tab will be available during orientation week. So this is the week before semester begins. So this is information here. We'll just give you an overview of the unit. So there's an information PowerPoint there, welcome video. That was just me introducing myself to my coming students. Just to give you an idea of what the unit looks like, topics that we'll be talking about, expectations in terms of what students are expected to do each week in terms of the preparation, tutorials and the follow-ups. So all of that's sort of given in orientation week to get students prepared before semester commences. Information in the information tab is also available to students that week. So the unit outline is available for every unit that you'll be taking, and this is really our contract with you. It gives you information about contact details, again topics, what's going to be happening every week, learning support information if you need support in any particular area, some guidance as to who to contact with regard to that, dates that are important through semester. So all of that information is really important and critical for the students, and that's all there in the unit outline. We also have an assessment guide, so this gives more clarity around the assessments that you will be undertaking for the unit. My textbooks, you can see that my students were asked to purchase the Seeley's Anatomy and Physiology, sources of where to source that from. So then we have the assessment tab. So that breaks down each of the assessment pieces a bit further. Critical information about those assessments is there. If it's an online quiz, for example, the quiz, access to the quiz would be given under that tab as well. So that would be all your access. You might have to submit a document that you've written. So that would, those submission points would all be here under the assessment tabs. Zoom is the way that our students get into their online sessions for those that are taking Zoom classes. So we had one that was at 2 p.m. on a Monday, so the students would just click on that, and that's how they would access their meetings each week. If we then move on to the information for semester week 3, let's just click on here. So my students in week 3, you can see that we're working through their digestive system and nutrition this week, so it tells them what the focus is going to be. Each week is then broken down into 3 different parts. There's the prepare, which students do before they come to class. The engage section, so whether you're engaging face-to-face on campus or via Zoom with us, or whether you're engaging independently in a self-paced learning. We have you covered in either way. So for those that are doing the face-to-face on campus, they come in, the requirements are listed here. Not a big narrative here because we would be giving them instruction in the classes. We're chatting with students. You can see the workshop images that we'll be working through for that week are given to the students. So this is what they'd actually be doing as they come into class with us. We'll be working through all these slides with the students. For those that are online, there will be more of a narrative. So for the activities in our tutorial manual that they're working through, there's some information here of what the students actually need to do. We try very hard to encourage students that are working at a self-pace to engage with others. So we provide opportunity for that with things like the Padlet wall and the group discussions. So you can see here they're asked to draw out the digestive system and share it on this Padlet. So students would just come in and attach a drawing here of what they drew for that particular activity. There's also a group discussion here, so a way for students to chat with each other. I, as a unit coordinator, would also monitor that and see if there's any further information that I need to add to those discussions, just to help to consolidate information there. At the end of the week, there is the reflect and progress. Again, this might look slightly different in every unit that you do. So for my students, they're asked to check the answers to the manual. So as I've worked through it in class, at the end of the week, the answers are released. So it's just an opportunity for students to get feedback to see whether their answers align with what was expected. We also have an end of the week quiz. So these are just very short quizzes that I use with my students, again, as a way of just gaining feedback as to whether they've understood the main concepts that we've worked through that week. So that's what each week looks like for my unit. I hope that gave you an overview of what learning through Curtin College might look like. Thanks very much for watching, and I hope to meet you in Perth or see you online in the future. Thank you so much.